Hey guys, for today's Green Room post, I'm going to talk about the difference between some of these basses that I have and their tones. So most active basses are going to sound brighter. They're going to give you more kind of a scope to be able to, shape the sound more because of the fact that there's a battery on board the bass and it's powering a preamp and it's giving you circuitry which gives you a kind of bigger control. Typically, it's going to sound more kind of funky and more ability to create fake highs and lows. And on this particular bass that I have, it's a Fender jazz bass, but it's a 90s like lace sensor pickups. So it's a jazz bass already, which is going to already be a little bit brighter. There's not super brand new strings on here, but it's already a lot brighter than my precision style bass. And I'll show you the difference. This right here is an active and a passive bass. So I've got it set on passive right now, and you'll hear the difference. That's as close to my precision bass as we're going to get on this bass. If I crank it over to the active setting, you're going to hear. So it's nice for slapping. If you want to get those popping and slapping things happening, it's going to be more bright. And on its own, it almost sounds like, wow, that's a cool sounding bass. But if I start playing with a full band with guitars and drivey guitars and keys and synths, this kind of bass really disappears in that mix, and I don't have that warm that I'm looking for from the bass. All you hear is the highs, which are like clicky, and the super lowies that are like not really pleasant in that kind of environment. So that's why I very seldom play with this bass unless I'm playing in a funk kind of situation where you're looking for the that kind of thing, which I don't get a lot of time to do, and it's kind of a thing that was done in the past, or if you're into the Red Hot Chili Peppers or something like that. So that's this bass. Once again, there's the active setting, here's the passive. It's more friendly sounding, kind of not as bright, not as many highs, and not as much of a kind of reinforced lows. That's the tone on this one. This is my precision style bass, and you can see it's got this pickup configuration which is different from the two jazz pickups, and this has got a kind of even a woollier, warmer tone. And it's got like these nice honky kind of mid-range frequencies that stick out nicely and give you the of the bass when the band's playing and rocking. That's why this is usually my bass of choice if I'm playing worship music where there's electric guitars and drivey parts in the mix. This bass will still kind of just pop out of the mix and you'll hear those nice reinforced ums. Now if I put brand new strings on this, it would sound a lot closer to an active bass, because just on a natural kind of level with the strings being so bright, I would have obviously dialed back a ton of my presence, which is your tone button here. I'd bring it back so the highs, the of the strings and the brightness, I'd bring them right down. But I find that even doing that, I miss out on some of this nice mid-range that you get when the strings get older. So that's my passive P bass. So this is my most passive bass. It's kind of acoustic hollow body. It's going to sound more thuddy, and it's going to sound really warm. Hardly any highs whatsoever. I've got the tone button as high as it'll go, and it's still going to sound kind of thuddy. Listen to this. And that's the kind of tone on this one. This gold foil pickup, it's almost like if I shout into it, you'll hear it in the mix. Sometimes when I'm mixing a record, I can actually hear the speakers playing through this pickup, because it's actually more like an acoustic microphone type speaker. And so it's going to give you more of the sound of the wood of this bass than maybe other electric guitars, and the decay on this is going to be less. So when you hit the note, it's going to fade away quicker than if you do it on a P bass, where there's a lot more sustain. Because the wood over here just eats up the bass, and it just eventually dries up real quick. But it's amazing for something if you're looking for that almost that upright sound, or a nice ballad where you just want to have those big kind of billowy, kind of pillowy bass notes that just kind of fade out real quick and just feel like you're walking through the song really nicely. Or if you're going to play a 30 Motown kind of song, I'd pick up this bass. So I hope you guys have learned a little bit of something about passive and active basses and the sounds of different pickups today. I'll catch you guys in the next Green Room post.